Good morning and welcome to the Daria Reactions. I am Fred. If you're new here, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. For those of you who are new here, what this is your standard reaction, commentary, and discussion series of videos focusing entirely around MTV's Daria. Now, as I like to say, I am old enough to have been in high school when Daria was airing on MTV. As a matter of fact, I was a huge fan of the show way back when. Matter of fact, season 4 basically aligns with my junior year, if memory serves me right. A lot of these episodes premiered in the year 2000. So that would have been essentially the back end of my junior year, start of my senior year in high school. Now, we are using the complete series box set that's on DVD. This is not the original case because the original case was horrible and cheaply produced. So during the course of this series, you know that we switched the cases here to make sure that the discs don't get damaged or scuffed or anything of that sort. Not to mention, I wasn't even using the DVDs in the basically for the first 2 seasons. Essentially, I was basically using different streaming services, Amazon, and YouTube, and briefly Paramount Plus. But those became more problematic to use in terms of getting the display capture to work. So we are struggling through with the DVDs, which take an unbelievable amount of time to decode to get them to work on a DVD-ROM for a computer. Uh, if you don't believe me, there are actual Reddit threads about that. Anyway, so we do the display capture, but you don't hear any audio because I do basically a running commentary throughout each and every episode. So it's basically to get around the DMCA-ness, and plus we turn the blurs on and off. Now we are essentially we are 1, 2, 3, 4. We are up to episode 4 of season 4, which is titled "Murdered She Snored," and I don't remember anything about the episode off the top of my head. But we shall see we shall see we shall see what we see. So let's just dive into it, shall we? Let's not stop dilly dallying. Although, of course, it is a reference to Murder She Wrote. How low are your expectations, Mr. DiMartino? Hey, Brittany got a 66. Matt got an 81. What? Why did they get an A? Yeah, the rest of the football team are full of idiots. Yeah, did Kevin cheat? That was quite clever. He doesn't know anything. Can't accuse him of lying. Yeah. There, yeah, where was he Monday afternoon? But Okay, so it's a murder mystery, and Kevin did blurt out that the coach would fix the scores. Yeah, everybody took the test, but somebody actually stole the test and the answers. Brittany is going to beat his ass one of these days. No, wait a second. I say that, and she has beat the crap out of him. Oh boy, Principal Lee is suspecting is going to overreact based on Daria and Jane's conversation. Oh boy, Jake is freaking out and Helen's not paying attention. Daria, yeah, sometimes you got to hear voices in your head. It's the only way you can stay sane in this world. Oh, that's a great post for Daria. Wait a second, they use the same voice for the different commercials? Okay, I just noticed that. Oh my goodness, is this like going to be end up being like a Charlie's Angel spoof? And Daria falls asleep. Okay, so that just draws things together. Yeah, everything. What the hell is up with that locker? Oh, Kevin's dead. Oh, that's right. It's Daria's dream. I was like, it's like I started thinking is like, what the hell? And yeah, I'm a bit slow this morning. And everyone, look who they're all the suspects. They're all the suspects. Yeah, yeah. Brittany has two pumpkins, all right. East and west, for those who are wondering. How is she the number one suspect? Yeah, so going like a full murder suspect routine, murder she wrote, which was well off the air at this point. Of course, Principal Lee will have a polygraph machine. In Daria's dream or not, she would definitely have. No, wait, she does have one because it was referenced in an earlier episode that she spent school funds on it. That was quite clever. It's like, but the whole idea of Mr. O'Neill and Mr. DiMartino being like a good cop, bad cop is hilarious. But at the same time, I do gotta appreciate again the uptick in the animation quality. So it's like the characters are a lot more animated in their movements. No, Mr. DiMartino, you're the one who hates Daria. Mr. DiMartino's got some strength on him. He picked Mr. O'Neill up by his shirt and hauled his ass out of the room smoothly as hell. Of course, Mr. O'Neill would drink Mr. Pip. Again, I'm trying to think. Is that the car from Murder She Wrote? Cause I'm trying to remember. It's like, cause I don't think Daria. That's actually Daria's car, but I could be wrong. Boy, Helen can be completely oblivious at times. Jake is going to be a detective. Trent's dead. Wait, he's asleep. He, he's not dead. He's asleep. A one-armed man. That's cute. That's very cute. Yeah, it's like there's no way Trent's dead. All right, and it's like Jake is addressed as what Inspector Clouseau. Oh, of course, yeah, they're going. Yeah, full part. Charlie's Angels here was with, I think Quinn would be the Farrah Fawcett character, and then you have Upchuck as Bosley. Wait a second. So you got the Stacy and Sandy here. Where the hell's Tiffany? And and that's a great look for Quinn. Like again, the Farrah Fawcett hairstyle. Speaking of Tiffany, well, that is a deep cut reference to how things went on Charlie's Angel. One person left, and that forced a casting change. Is it yes, it is a chalked outline. Yes, for sure. Oh boy, these three idiots. And of course that I'm about to say Sandy dropping the line like, yes, we you're not supposed to be here until Quinn leaves over creative differences. Again, rather cute in the references there. Wow, that is dark. 2468 Kevin's on his final date. That was particularly dark. I mean, granted, this is Daria's dream, but damn. Daria is dressed as Magnum PI. And I think Jane's outfit is awful for Magnum PI as well. But this is another thing I'm enjoying about season 4 is the number of outfit changes that you're getting with the characters. So you, but at the same time, the background in this scene is not as good as well in the episode of Antisocial Climbers. Not as detailed. Uh, no, yes, she hears you. We are not surprised that Mrs. Branch is glad that Kevin is dead. The Kevin Thompson Memorial Foundation. Sounds like a way for Principal Lee to embezzle. It did not last long. The Marlboro Girl? Yes. And of course, Jake and Helen are dressed as cops. I mean, the number of references in this episode to different detective and crime related franchises is quite clever. Good point. Yeah, somebody planted it. Yeah, but Kevin was what shot through the heart with an arrow, and there was a golf club. Who are the suspects? Everyone. What? She was quick. It's like I'm surprised you don't just have the shoes on the floor. It's like with Mrs. Branch and Mr. O'Neill going at it. But this is Daria's dream, so she envisions that as part of her dream. Wow. A time activated paint, of course. The leaps in logic. I have to let the logic just go away here. So everyone did it. So what did Jane do? Okay, poison the sandwich. The daily dance to the gods. No wonder the football team fails. A nutty butter and banana sandwich. That peanut butter banana sandwiches are good, man. No, next time I do groceries, get bananas along with bread. No almonds? Whoa, trippy, man. Totally trippy. He was shot to the heart. Britney's to blame. Kevin's brain is so lame. Well, it's really working for him. That's just weird. That's nuts. It's a water piss, though. Executor anyway. Yeah, of course, Principal Lee would go to that length. 7:30 a.m. Way too damn early. So this does raise a question of the number of TV shows or movies that was airing while Daria was asleep. So you're talking like the Pink Panther, Charlie's Angels, Magnum PI. That's a hell of a late night lineup. Yes, it does. Yeah, that's funny as hell that Kevin would have the arrow thing and do it, Mr. DiMartino. Kevin could win without a throat. He's not going to stop. Um, well, I've certainly this was certainly a disjointed episode to say the least, mainly because the whole dream scenario and the number of references and trying to move the plot along again with it being Daria's dream. It's it certainly holds a bit of a charm as a what the fuck is going on. Um, all, almost to the same extent as the holidays episode from season 3, but doesn't quite hit that. It doesn't quite hit that same level because again, you know it's a dream, and with how over the top everything is, the repeated costume changes. But at the same time, if you were familiar with a lot of the things that were being referenced. It is certainly a cute episode. Jake as Inspector Clouseau, the Fashion Club as Charlie's Angels, number of digs on, uh, surprisingly, a number of digs regarding a cast member leaving and then being replaced by someone else later on. In that regard, was quite clever. Jake and Helen as police officers towards the end. Daria wearing the Tom Selleck Magnum PI shirt was actually pretty cool. I still can't get over the 2, 4, 6, 8 Kevin's on his final date cheer at his funeral, which was uh, rather nice. Nice and dark at the same time. And again, you can almost tell that they are going like all out with season 4, and that there was a budget increase again. And I will say that in this case, in the case of this episode, is the number of design and costume changes or attires. I say costume changes as if this is a live action show. But the number of attires that you see, because you have to design the look and animate the look, which as opposed to using the same character models and stock animations that kind of was the norm for seasons 1 to 3 to an extent, where you would see the same walking animations and the same shots from previous episodes, but with new dialogue uh, over them. It's like, okay, you say with animation you do save money and cut corners where you can. Um, no Tom this episode. Which again, Tom, which is kind of surprising. Tom gets mentioned. Another thing about it, I don't think Tom has. No, Tom appeared in Partner's Complaint, but not in any of the other episodes. But he's kind of like in the background, and I know he ends up playing a part towards, I believe, towards the end of the season and throughout season 5. But it's kind of weird that you introduce this major character, but since he doesn't go to Lawndale, it's kind of like, okay, how the hell do you work him in? The entire bit where Trent was like, Jane is saying like Trent is dead. It's like, well, no, he's not. He's asleep on the bed, and I actually bought it for a moment. It's like, oh, okay, they actually did kill Trent off in the dream? It's like, no, and he wakes up. Jane referencing, oh, I think it was a one-armed man and again holding up a prosthetic arm or a mannequin arm, and Trent saying, "Hey, can you give me my back scratcher?" I mean, of course, if you have like a something the length of a human arm and you're using it as a back scratcher, that's quite handy in its own right. Um, Principal Lee's polygraph test, and I know that was brought up in the previous episode, not for this season, that she spent school funds on it, and that led to one of the various either fundraisers or things that she basically forced the entire school to do in order to cover the use of unauthorized spending. So that was a great callback there. The Mr. O'Neill, Mr. DiMartino, good cop, bad cop, with Mr. O'Neill basically undercutting Mr. DiMartino with everything that he was saying was clever. But the highlight is Mr. DiMartino just grabbing Mr. O'Neill by the shirt and is chucking him out of the Principal Lee's office. Just thinking back, because Mr. O'Neill was like off the ground, like his feet was like a in depiction of the episode, probably like a good foot. Again, it's like a foot off the ground. This was how he was lifted and tossed. Um, I do find it funny with this being Daria's quote unquote dream for this episode, that if you're getting into her mindset and everyone being as they would, that she would that she straight up acknowledges Mrs. Branch and Mr. O'Neill's little flings all over the place, because they're not exactly subtle with it, but at the same time, it's kind of funny. For it's like in Daria's dream, she would actually include that, like her subconscious would. Yeah, it's like that would be something that would happen. And also another note here is like the number of characters that were used in this episode. It's another sign from season 4 that you definitely got a loaded cast of characters that had like voice that had spoken dialogue. Obviously Daria, Jane, Mr. DiMartino, Mr. O'Neill, Mrs. Branch, Principal Lee, all 4 members of the Fashion Club, Jake, Helen, Trent, Upchuck, uh, the 3 J's. Who am Brittany, Mac, Jody. Again, that's a pretty damn large cast for a short, 20 some odd minute episode. So it's again, there was they're packing a lot in these episodes, going from so far in season 4. And again, my theory is that is like they knew that they were going to have the Is It Fall Yet movie, and again, making sure that all the background characters, like their personalities, are on full display for, because again, the Is It Fall Yet film that run, I believe, with commercials, I think it was about 90 some odd minutes to 2 hours. I don't quite remember its length, but it had to be filled with a lot of extra subplots and extra characters and stuff being done. Anyway, with that said, we'll wrap up this video here. Next week's episode will be the F word. Kind of wonder if it is the actual F word or if it's something else, but we shall see when we get to that episode next week. With that said, tighten your friendship bracelet, stay safe, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we see y'all in the next video. Bye.